In this episode, I'm going to share with you a really powerful, underutilized technique to help you, an associate, find your dream associate position. What's going on, Protrusive? Principals are telling me that it's almost impossible to find a good associate. Associates are telling me that it's really difficult to find associate positions and good principals and good practices. So what's going on? Why does this difference, why does this situation exist where each group is yearning for the other, but we're having that friction between associates and principals in terms of finding each other? Now, obviously there are big issues like, nurses, like so difficult to find a nurse. But when it comes to associates and principals, there are bigger things at play here, like huge things. But I'm going to just share this one technique. Just want to share this one really powerful technique which I've observed, and I think you still need to do the fundamentals of finding an associate position. Now, the fundamentals I cover in IC episode, so Interference Cast episode 5 and Interference Cast episode 6, which is finding an associate position and working on your CV and portfolio. All those things you need to ideally have in place, but not essential and not mandatory to use this really, really cool technique, okay, which I'm gonna share with you now. To clarify before I tell you this powerful 4-minute technique, it's not like 4 minutes as in like at 6:01 you do this technique and 6:05 you have a job. It doesn't quite work like that. It'll take you 4 minutes to do or less. Right? This is how powerful it is. So efficient, okay? And then I will be amazed that if within 4 days you don't get at least one job offer, I'll be absolutely gobsmacked. Okay, so this is how powerful this is. To demonstrate the power of this technique, I'm going to make it really tangible. I'm going to give you an example of when I saw it in use around about a year and a bit ago, and it just blew my mind. I hope it blows your mind as well. And it'll also then reveal what the technique is, okay? So we see on social media, on Facebook, wherever, adverts from principals and practices all the time. We're looking for an associate to work, 3 days a week, and this is the remuneration, and we have all the toys and all the tools and great earning potential and blah, blah, blah. But we seldom see the associate posting saying, hey, I'm an associate and I think I have these credentials and I am looking for this type of practice. Come at me, right? We don't see that, okay? But that is super, super powerful. Let me prove how powerful it is to you, okay? One of my buddies, Greg, hello, Greg. I don't know if you listen to this podcast or not, but it's nice to see you use this technique with some success, and I hope you don't mind me sharing your example. And I think with Greg, I can do this because Greg was my captain in the cricket team I played in during uni. So Greg, have you played IB cricket on Oculus too? So guys, I've got into VR gaming recently. My wife got me a headset for my birthday, and I'm absolutely loving playing virtual reality cricket. It's called IB cricket. I absolutely love it, right? And because I have a messed up shoulder, I can't play real cricket. So this is like the next best thing, and it is so addictive. Anyway, I digress. Okay, so Greg was my cricket captain, and this is what he posted. Now, before I share with you what he posted, for those of you not in the UK, you can apply this technique, in the US, Australia, wherever, France, Venezuela, wherever you are, okay? As long as you have a community of dentists on a Facebook group or on a WhatsApp group or whatever, right? Ideally, a Facebook group with good reach, 10,000 plus members or whatever dentists in your country or in your city or whatever, right? So if you're not from the UK, I'm going to just explain a few things before I share with you what he posted, okay? So Marmite. Let me tell you what Marmite is, because you need to know what Marmite is so you understand what he's written. So Marmite is this spread that you put on toast or bread or whatever, and it is advertised as you either love it or you hate it. So if someone has a Marmite personality, you either love them or hate them. And if you're a dab hand at something, that means you're good at something. Okay, so those are what you need to know for this to make sense. So let me read out his ad to you, and it's going to come up on an image if you're watching this as well. So Greg posted on Facebook, he said, anyone need a loyal associate in Sheffield with a personality like Marmite? Dab hand at dentures, very competent oral surgeon, good with kids, not that confident at crowns, average at best at endo. Old people can't beat them. Like, wow, okay? There are so many things to love about that way of advertising yourself. It showed humility. It showed weakness. It showed strengths. It showed consideration. It showed compassion towards the elderly. Like, there were so many great things in that ad, right? But when we think of ads, we think that, hey, I can do a cram prep in 60 minutes and I use this technician and I can earn you this much money and I've done 17 different degrees. But no, that was such a human ad. And that's why I think it was so successful. In fact, let me tell you how successful this was, okay? So at the time, when I was reading the post and reading the comments, he had at least 6 public offers in the Facebook comments. 6. That's 6 public offers in the comments. And then he posted much later, he said, "Thanks all, we have a winner. Sorry to all the people I couldn't get back to. I was literally swamped with messages. The offer I got was too good to turn down. Only a 25-minute commute. Lovely people." Okay? Guys, if that doesn't scream at you the power of this technique, then, this is it. This is a great technique. Now, the prerequisite of being able to do this technique is you need to put your on the table, i.e., you need to get out of your shell. So this probably wouldn't suit someone who's really shy or timid, but if you are in a position where you've tried everything conventional, okay, and I've done some unconventional ways of finding jobs of my own in the past. I'll share that with you in a few moments, but you need to think outside the box. So sometimes instead of waiting for this magic opportunity to come your way, instead of waiting for someone to post that job that you're refreshing every day on the groups and whatnot, saying, okay, is anyone posted a job in this part of London for this many exact days? You're finding something far too niche. Why don't you make that reality happen? Why don't you post yourself? Okay. In fact, try this. Okay. Let me make it really easy for you. Okay. Post up one before and after of any case. It could be a simple molar composite, right? Post one before and after, and one, so it's like a double image post, one before and after image, and one screenshot of a Google review with your name on it. The patient said, okay, I was treated by Dr. Smith and he was awesome, whatever, right? And if you put that in a group and say, hey guys, this is what I like, this is the kind of practice I want to work in. Is there anyone in this sort of region who's looking for a trustable, dependable associate? Okay, I will be amazed. I will be absolutely shocked, okay, and really upset if you don't get an offer, at least one offer. Now, it doesn't have to be, okay, it might not be the dream offer, okay, obviously you have to figure out if that's the right offer for you, but if you're looking for a super powerful, underutilized technique, that is a consideration for you. Now, since I saw Greg do that, I had been keeping an eye on these kind of posts, and now I've seen a few more here and there, and many of the times I've seen this been done, it's been very successful. It's always followed up from what I've seen as an outsider reading these posts as, I will DM you, I'll PM you, and then a few, I work here, would you consider it? So there is a huge potential here, and I guess the moral of the story is opportunities are around us. Sometimes you have to make it happen. Sometimes you have to force opportunities. Stop waiting for things to happen to you, okay? Take massive action, take matters into your own hands, okay? Like, for example, when I was a DCT, I was looking for a Saturday job because I was afraid of de-skilling in hospital, okay? The pace of hospital just didn't suit me, it was too slow. So I was afraid of de-skilling, so I handed my CV in to the practice I wanted to work in, the one practice I wanted to work in near my house that was nice, and I went into the practice one day on a Saturday, dressed smart, and I handed my CV to the receptionist. Okay, I asked, "Is the principal in?" The principal wasn't there. I was like, "Okay, look, would you mind please passing this CV over?" And I'm pretty sure I followed up a social media message to the principal, say, "Hey, you haven't advertised your hiring, and I appreciate that, but I just wanted to let you know that if you're ever hiring, I would love to work for you." Okay, so I sort of did that kind of thing, and lo and behold, 2.5 months later, I got the phone call. Barely had an interview, right? Because he was already keen on me. He had my CV. He already knew everything about me, and there we are. I started to work in that position. So sometimes you need to do something outside the box. So find that opportunity, guys. Find it for you. I hope this helped you. I would love to see this in action. I hope over the next few months, as I go on social media, as I go on Facebook groups, I see some people doing that, and I wish you all the success in finding your associate position. And just one more thing, one little nugget. Okay, I gave this advice to someone on LinkedIn, and he came to shadow me. I'm not going to say your name, I don't want to embarrass you, but he recently got offered a private position, and I'm so proud of you, buddy. I think you know who you are, and he was thankful to me for some of the advice I gave. And I said to him, I sent him a voice message on LinkedIn. I said, what specifically about the advice that I gave him was powerful, so I can share that with you guys in terms of finding the job? And he said, well, just generally, because I'm a young dentist, he said, don't limit myself too much. I had this one other dentist, she messaged me saying, hey Jazz, can I get some advice? I'm looking for a job in this very small part of London, 3 days a week, and I want it 10 a.m. till 3 p.m. And I told her, look, you're looking for a unicorn, okay? It's not going to happen. So you need to make yourself employable, if you like, okay? Make yourself attractive with your timings. Don't be, if possible, don't be too bound down to location. If possible. I know because of family reasons, it might not always be possible, but if you can move around for the right opportunity, consider it. Okay, there is life outside the M25. Repeat again, there is life outside the M25. Okay, so there are opportunities out there. You go find them, guys. Okay, and if there's any other topics around this big topic that you want me to cover, I'd love to do that. Reach out to me on the usual @Protrusive Dental Instagram, or email me jazz@protrusive.co.uk. Thanks so much for listening all the way to the end. I hope you enjoyed this sharing of this technique, and I hope it's fruitful for you.